Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the Travel Collective. Tonight, we're sharing some travel tips. It's a crazy week. It's right near September, Labor Day weekend. A lot of people start thinking about fall travels, maybe holiday travels. Honestly, now is the time to start thinking about, are you going to travel at the holidays? Buying some tickets before the price goes crazy or not. I know in the past, Tuesday seems to be a great day to look at airfares. That's always kind of a moving target, but I did see Southwest was running some $39 sales. I recently saw an article where domestically, I think they said they've calculated it's like about 45 days before your travel date that you can get some good flights. Sometimes that works, it's all over the map. You can sign up for different newsletters. But today we're just going to talk about any other tips we've learned while traveling. So, I've got a couple guests with me tonight, Darcy
Hello.
and Heather. So, thank you for joining me. So, Darcy, I'll let you start with some travel tips. So, what kind of travel do you do mostly?
Well, for me, when I'm traveling outside of my tours, it's either for um, just my own learning experiences, my own fun, because I do like to travel. I always have, um, or doing research for my tours. And so if you're traveling, like you said, just for the holidays to visit family and things, you know, things are probably pretty much in hand. But if you're traveling for the experiences, for learning, for, to explore, the first thing, even if you are doing a tour with April or myself, do some research because you want to find out um, what the weather is going to be when you're going to be there and what changes there might have been in the weather patterns. Because everybody knows that Oregon rains all the time. Well, not so much anymore. So the best thing I can say is to check the weather patterns, make sure you see what's going on over there, make sure you have the correct shoes for what you're going to, uh, good walking shoes, good sturdy walking shoes, and dress in layers. That helps you with how much you can take with you because you can dress in layers on the airplane.
Yep.
You can bring more clothes with you. Um, and I know a lot of people, they go on cruises and they go here and there and they've always got all these shoes with them. You don't need all those shoes. Depending on where you're going, bring a pair of shoes that might look nicer than the others, and the rest wear really sturdy walking shoes. That's that is my best advice. I personally have problems with my feet if I'm not wearing my hikers. I wear hiking shoes all the time. I have hiking shoes that look like sneakers, but they have soles that are hiking shoes. So they give me a lot of oomph. You want a lot of not just protection from something you might stumble over, but uh, oh, how do I want to say it? Sturdiness. You want sturdy shoes so that your feet aren't really tired and sore and blistery by the end of the day if you're wandering around Rome or wandering around the Oregon coast or looking at fall leaves walking down the street with April. So
Yeah. That
that's
is
that is the first thing that came to mind when April said travel tips. Check the weather, because it seems like an odd thing to say, but living in Oregon where the weather changes every 10 minutes, it can be pouring down rain and 10 minutes later the sun is shining. So wear layers and do some research on where you're going. You may have an extra day when your flight gets in from when your tour starts. So what is there to do? And you can ask your tour guide, or you can just do some research online to okay, here's where I am staying, so what's right around there. So that is probably my best advice is research, research, research.
I love that. I think that is so true. And I like the tip about the shoes. I tell people that all the time. It's like I traveled for basically it was well over 30 days this summer and I took my hiking thick, like a pair of boots. Again, like kind of like Darcy. It's like they're the most comfortable thing. They support my ankle. It's like they kind of go with everything. I wore those biggest item on my feet on the plane every time I flew, and then I had just a little pair of squishable, like kind of tennis shoes. I know Skechers make some, Keen, Merrill. There's different brands. Find a brand that you really like that squishes down. Try them out before you go on the trip. I say this over and over because you don't want to break in a new pair of shoes on a trip. You're going to probably get a blister or get a rub something off on your ankle. So yeah, walk around your house. I know some of us, we want to keep the shoes all nice and new. And, even when you buy a pair, a lot of places will tell you if you wear them in the house on your carpeted floors, you can try them. Make sure if you bought them from a reputable store, they'll let you bring them back if they're not damaged or, worn out.
And here's another thing that kind of goes along with that. And this may sound really bizarre, but buy good socks.
Yes.
I have a problem with, because I have little feet. I mean, the shoes, those aforementioned hiking shoes, my two pairs that I wear all the time are children's shoes.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I have little feet. But wear good socks, get a good brand, something that's really soft and comfortable that doesn't slip into your shoes. Because I have that problem. For me, if my socks are slipping into my shoes, it gives me
Yeah.
blisters. The shoes are great. It's the socks that are the problem. So, and again, may sound a little strange, but if you're going to be doing walking tours or on your feet a lot, uh, make sure you have good socks.
Yeah. And I can expand on that too. It's worth it. I've learned it's worth it to pay extra money for good socks. They have like I like some of the brands like they're technically kind of a hiking sock. They have more of a cushion bottom. There's different brands that REI sells. You can get
Columbia
them on
Sportswear here in Oregon.
right? Yeah, exactly. Vermont, there's a pair, I think it's Darn Tough Vermont that claim they have a lifetime guarantee. And they do. They're well made. Wool breathes, contrary to belief that some people think like, oh, my feet are going to get too hot. It's like, no, they actually breathe, and you don't have to get the super thick ones, but make sure they fit right. Again, try the socks. I've bought some that if they're the shorty kind and you like the shorty kind, they can slip like you said, Darcy, they'll slip off inside your shoe and now they're rubbing. You can't really stop. You're gonna lose your group up there. So you gotta try out the socks too. And I've learned it's worth it to spend a little more money on good pairs of socks. And it's kind of investment, but they tend to last longer. Your feet will be happy. It's worth it all the way around.
Definitely, definitely. Do you take more than one coat when you go?
Usually, if I'm going in autumn, because I love to travel in autumn, I'm taking layers. So oftentimes I have like one of these puffer jackets that squishes really down to nothing. Like you can stuff this in a bag. And then I also always have like one of those cheap rain jackets with the hood because I just don't like to have to carry an umbrella. Because if you're taking pictures, you got your cell phone, you're walking around, it's like your hand is now having to like deal with an umbrella, and it's just too much.
I'm an Oregonian. We don't use umbrellas.
Oh, good. So yeah, I get one of those cheap jackets, and I love eBay. I love secondhand stores. So go and get you can get a thin one, and I buy it bigger than my clothes, so you can layer it over everything. It's like, most places you go, just have a nice, one nice pair of jeans, maybe one nice sweater. You can always, just as long as you look clean and dressed clean and plain, you can pretty much get. I wear my hiking boots into nice restaurants in New England all the time. I've never been kicked out. So, don't overpack. I think that's a big thing.
One of the things that I take with me, especially on my little day trips, and I'm pretty sure I had one when I went on that tour, was when on that cruise, was I get these they're like little backpacks, but they have the pull drawstrings. And I've got, I think I've got like 5 of them now, and I've gotten all of them free from community events. And some of them are really
Yes.
nice.
Yes.
Go to community events and they're fun, and you may get these sorts of things. And I take them because they're really lightweight. I can't use a regular backpack, but I put snacks and things in them because I have food issues. So I always have prepackaged snacks and things that I stick into my little backpack along with an extra bottle of water and my extra camera lens. So if you do have back and neck problems like I do, those little lightweight backpacks with the
Yes.
drawstrings are really nice. And they pack up really small, so you can just make sure you have your stuff with you when you go, and you don't have to worry about hanging on to all of it.
Right. Yeah, that's a great tip. And I love the idea of going to like, just go to like look for community events where they have like giveaways. This was one I got at some sort of giveaway. It's one of, and a lot of the markets, you have to look, but it's one of these like shopping bags that like unfolds. But
Mhm.
yes, I've seen the backpack styles too. And then they
I just got one
stuff
of those the other day too.
stuff into nothing, and I'll stick this in my pocket because even if you go to a restaurant sometimes you get too much food and you're traveling, maybe you want to eat it later. I'm kind of like Darcy, I kind of have to have some snacks all day. So you can have this and throw your stuff in it, and keep yourself dry. So
Well, and that is an important issue too, especially if you're off running around doing a lot of different things on one of these tours. Um, Lunch and dinner and breakfast are not always at a good time for everybody, and they're not always close enough together for someone who, say, has an autoimmune disorder or diabetes or something. So uh, make sure you have snacks with you. Bring your snacks. Most airlines, and when you're, even if you're going overseas, if they're prepackaged or you can get them when you get to where you're going, just make sure that you have things, excuse me, things that you can eat. Because for me, that's a real issue, because I can't have wheat or corn, or corn. Can't have corn either, but I can't have wheat or any form of cane sugar or soy. And those are really big things that are in almost everything. So if I want to snack, which I do, I take my own things with me or buy them when I get to where I'm going, and keep that backpack handy and make sure that I have snacks, because we don't want to run out of energy when you're off running around, because you need to get back to point A from point B, C, and D, because April and I are not going to carry you back.
oh no. Well, let's let Heather share. I know she's got some travel tips. She went to Alaska with me last year, so she's got some great tips to share too. So welcome, Heather.
Hello. Um, One is with COVID right now, that you have really, really good masks to wear. That was my problem with the Alaska trip, was that we're not as good as they should have been. And I got COVID at the end. Um, but um, two is make sure you put extra clothes in your carry-on, which I didn't do on the way back from Alaska to Iowa. That was my mistake, and they wouldn't let me have my checked luggage in Atlanta. So that's why I wore what I wore back to Iowa, is what I wore when I started the trip back. So that's another thing to think about.
And then if you do have medications, I know Heather would agree about counting out extra. You know, don't count it down to exactly the day. No, no, no. You don't have to feel bad. It was a good, it's good tip to share. And I know you were probably going to share that next, but with the airlines, we've been hearing all summer even, we look outside, we're like, oh, well, the weather is great. It's summertime. How many weather issues can there be? Well, now we have computer glitches, we have, oh, the plane has an issue, it's
Right.
not going to continue on, people are getting stuck, different places. And like
Yeah.
you, Heather, you're right. If you don't even have just one change of clothes, maybe it's an extra shirt you have stuffed in your carry-on bag. And if for a lot of us is that thinking of like, oh, well, I'm on my flight home, I don't really need anything, because if my bag gets separated from me, I'll be at my house, I'll have everything I need. Well, if we get stuck somewhere, and it is happening more frequently now, we saw it this summer. I mean, people are getting stuck, and it's not always for COVID, unfortunately, like for you, but you might need that extra day's worth of whatever medications you might be on.
Right. And remember to look up the liquids, the information on the liquids. You cannot have more than 2 ounces, and it doesn't matter if the container is bigger, but there's only 2 ounces in it. That's what France, when I went through their airport, they took my meds, which are liquids because I don't swallow pills well, and they took my skin lotion that I make for myself, which was a little expensive, even though it was less
Oh,
than 2 ounces, but it was in a bigger bottle, and they just stole it and threw it away. So then that's reason I got sick at the end of my cruise, because I didn't have my meds. I mean,
oh.
but that's the way it
Yeah,
goes.
I know.
And she brought something else up, and when Heather was talking about bringing an extra um, pair of clothes, and that is a really really good idea. Bring extra stuff with you on your bag. What I did, remember those bags we were talking about? We get free at events. I have one that has a big one. It's a big one, and it has a zipper, and that became my purse.
There you
So
go.
have a really big purse, and you can put a lot of stuff in it, because you are allowed your purse and a carry-on bag
Right.
on almost all
Yeah.
flights. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
I
taking a car, just cram a bunch of stuff in it. That's what I do.
yeah. Well, I have my CPAP that I have to carry as well, but they let me have my purse anyway, you know, with my carry-on and my CPAP. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's but
that's
I might
smart.
take that advice the next time I go.
Yeah, that is true.
Different
That's
bag.
I think it depends on different airlines as well. I've been
Yeah.
looking for flights here and there recently, and um, some of them allow baggage, what do you call it, checked bags, and some of them make you pay extra for it, and some of them allow your purse and a carry-on bag and a personal item, such as something that's breakable, like or something that's you need, like your CPAP machine. They let me take my camera last time, my camera equipment, because it's considered something that you don't want to put in with the baggage, because it'll get broken.
right.
Yeah.
Or the lithium, anything with like the lithium batteries, which are like all the batteries for most of the digital cameras nowadays too. Make sure, because sometimes you get to the gate and they're trying to like hustle you, or not hustle you, but they're like, oh, we'll take that bag and check it for free. Well, make sure you don't have any lithium batteries in there. I mean, one time I had to quickly shuffle stuff around because I had the more batteries in that bag, and so then I had to add them to my backpack. So, read, that's a good tip. Read very carefully what the airlines are allowing you to take and not allowing, and think
Yeah,
ahead.
definitely. Okay, here's the question for both of you. How do you pack your clothes? I hear a lot of people tell me to roll, that you
That's
get
what I did.
more room, but I have found for me that rolling or just laying stuff out kind of folded one time and flat, either way works. I get the same amount of stuff in there.
Yeah, that's a good question. I know there's been a lot of people that talk about that a lot. I found like both ways works, and but I do like those packing cubes. I did invest
Oh,
finally in like a pair in a set from Amazon. I watched for when they went on sale, and get the ones with the double zippers, because then it lets you kind of keep compressing so it's flatter and flatter, because it's amazing how much air gets into shirts or gets into sweaters. But again, really just keep condensing. Sometimes I honestly will take stuff that, you know what, if I want to end up donating it at the end of the trip, then I have a little room to bring something back, or the shirt that's not as nice that I'm sleeping in. If I need to bring back, like jam or maple syrup, because that will have to go in my check bag. I'm gonna have to wrap that up with something, and I always bring a lot of Ziploc bags. Go to the dollar store, get a big old box of bags that are like Ziploc bags.
Forgot about that. That is how I went on the cruise. I did take those bags, and I had took my vacuum cleaner and just sucked the air out of them, and
Oh, you did do that.
I did. I forgot I had done that. I just remember that. And on the way back, I just pushed the air out of it because I apparently didn't really need them, but it it was nice. It worked, and it keeps the things clean too. If anything gets into your bag, if you put your clothes into one of those bags that you suck the air out of, and then somebody's cat or dog gets into your
Yes.
gets into your bag, because I had that at a friend's house. She has animals, and they like, for some reason, cats and dogs like to come and sit in your open suitcase.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about suitcases. I've seen a lot of friends have said that exactly. So yeah, I think the Ziploc bags is a great tip. Or even collecting those a lot of countries are no longer handing out the little plastic shopper bags. So again, like if you've got the little backpack, Darcy, or like I've got the little shopper bag, have that with you in your pocket when you're out doing your walk, because then if you do buy something to take back to your room or a souvenir or something, you have something to put it in. You're not just trying to carry it. I'm surprised how many countries now they are banning the plastic, which, is a good thing, but again, being prepared.
And I like the bags that they give you when you're traveling, if they're paper bags and they have the stamp on them or something with the name of where you bought it, and then it all just goes into my little stuff for that trip. It's like, okay, I'm saving this. This is where I bought this.
Yeah, yeah. But yes, shoes are important. I think layers, I can never say enough about layers. Even and do look ahead at averages. You can go on to like weather.com, Weather Channel, a lot of those sites, and put in the destination, each destination that you're going to, because sometimes if you're on a multi-country tour,
Right.
the temperatures can vary quite a bit. So if you have layers, if you have some t-shirts that you can layer under a sweater, and just really try to condense what you have. I mean, honestly, no one's gonna look at your jeans and know that, oh, she wore those jeans yesterday. I mean, it's a pair of jeans, So
Top, change your top. Nobody knows.
yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of the clothes, unless you're gonna be like doing some really active type vacation, they're not really gonna get that very dirty.
Yeah. And I bring my rain pants because I like to travel off season. I like to go places in, September, October, November, December. So I bring my rain pants because not only do they add an extra layer if it's chilly, but if it's raining, obviously you stay dry, and as you said, then nobody sees what jeans you were wearing, and you can wear them again the next day because nobody's gonna know.
Rain pants, that's a good idea. Where did you get the rain pants, may I ask? Do you know what brand they are?
Oh gosh, mine are just cheap ones that I've gotten around. I've got two different pair. I have a lightweight pair and I have a heavier pair, and had them for years. And I have no idea where I got them. It's
That's another thing though, you can probably look on eBay, if and always look at the measurements on eBay. If you're trying to shop for something, every brand is totally different. You can always message the person selling and have them actually get a tape measure, measure the waist, measure the inseam, give you all the, watch the ankles. I notice a lot of those tapered pants are way too tapered. They're not, I don't know whose ankle they're gonna fit over, so
I
just
know mine won't.
yeah, mine either. So just really but you can really save a lot of money. There's people selling brand new items. I mean, a lot of women, we have, they have closets. We all have extra stuff that we're not wearing in there. And I always
Well,
suggest put everything on that you're actually going to pack, because I've learned it's like you always end up taking something like, quote, just in case. And sometimes you don't ever wear it. And now it's just taking up extra space.
right. Well, and you know, I don't think I have anything that's quote name brands. So you don't need name brands per se, but just make sure that what you are taking, especially if we're talking coats and rain pants, that they do what they're supposed to. Make sure they're lined. They really should be lined. That way you can wear them just on cold days and not have to be rainy.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. Just make sure they're lined. Like I said, I have two different pair, one light and one heavier. One pair I used to wear when I skied before I got a ski suit.
Oh wow, there you go.
I just I just wore my rain pants and it worked perfectly fine.
No,
It
it's a
kept me nice
great
and
tip.
toasty.
Yeah. And you
Even
don't have to like, if you also this last trip I took where I was gone for so long, I got some of those. They have the washer sheets now. They look like pieces. Yeah, they're like
they look like pizza.
no, they look like pieces of paper is what I'm trying to say. They're like and it's soap and you just I tried it out. I got some. They're really inexpensive. You can put again, take a big Ziploc bag. You can put your underwear or socks in there so you don't have to take a pair for every day of the week if you're going to be gone a long time. And then throw the washer sheet in there, shake it around, and it suds up. And so you can wash in your sink at your hotel and then hang it up, hang those items to dry,
Very
you
cool.
know. But try ahead of time because, if your socks are heavier, they will take longer to dry. That can be, so then you're got the hair dryer out and you're trying to get them dry.
Well,
Yeah.
and I just my brain just went to it in a different direction. This isn't packing per se. It's more like packing you. When you know you're going on a trip, especially if you're going to be kind of active. Me, I am well, unless pear is considered a shape, I am not in shape. But you can do some little exercises. I do my physical therapy exercises just to strengthen your muscles. It's not a way, not trying to lose weight or anything like that, but literally just movement. Because if you do that and it just strengthens your muscles a little bit, you will be ready to go on all these adventures without being completely worn out at the end of the day. So you got to think about packing yourself as well.
No, that is very smart. That's true. I see Heather nodding too. And it's like, ask, if you're, because a lot of us when we're at home, might not be as active. So definitely do some stretching. I know with my suitcase, even, we're most of the time you got to be able, I always say, be prepared to carry your own stuff. Even if you're with a tour group, a lot of times there's not always going to be someone to help you. The airlines, the employees aren't really supposed to help you when you board the plane to put your bag in the overhead. You can't always get lucky and get in line next to the football looking person that's gonna be kind enough to put it in the overhead. So literally I start packing early or just take the suitcase and practice lifting it. Can I get this over my head? Did I choose a bag that's just way too heavy? I mean,
Or make sure it's going to fit under the seat because I don't ever put I don't put things over the overhead because I can't reach it. It's my problem. I'm too short. So
yeah.
everything has to go at my feet. So because unless someone offers to put it up there, I can't get it up there anyway. It doesn't matter how light it is. I'm too short.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. But you're right. It's true. That's why it's like for me it is. It's a stretch sometimes to get it up there. So measure, look at the airlines and see there are some really nice under seat bags or even backpacks. I like using like a school backpack even as quote my under seat bag. Just make sure to measure it. But that way you can put it on your back and it's got a change of clothes, it's got what you need to get you through the first couple of days if you did check your bag or,
Yeah,
maybe you're just going to go light. If you're not going to be gone very long, you can just get by with that.
yeah, there you go.
Any other tips, Heather?
Um, I'm thinking.
That's okay.
Um, that backpack, they gave us one when we went to Scotland.
Oh.
And in a way, I should have used that as my purse. Put
Okay.
my purse and stuff in there, and I could have put my extra and still taken that little carrier that I had
Oh
to
yeah,
carry on.
exactly.
So that's something I want to do next time. You're giving me ideas. But I use plastic bags to make sure stuff leaked, you know, in my carry on a lot or in my luggage. I Ziploc bags or I do that a lot.
Oh, for
Yeah.
like smaller things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, well, I think for almost a lot of, especially too, if you do put in your, some people like special, maybe it's makeup or hair stuff that maybe they put in their check bag that's bigger. I always make sure to wrap that in an extra plastic bag because with the change in pressure, you never know if it might leak or pop open, and you just want to protect the rest of your clothes from
Right.
whatever might leak or,
Definitely.
If I have a diesel rinse that's in a can and I put it in my checked luggage, even though I know that I can put it in my carry on, but I put it in my checked luggage in a Ziploc bag. I put anything in there in a Ziploc bag, just in case something happens and it opens.
Yeah, that's
Well,
smart.
what do you guys do about your glasses? Because I have glasses too. I don't wear them when I'm at the office because I can't see the computer screen with them on. But do you guys have extra pair of glasses that you take with
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I always take an extra
Oh,
pair of glasses.
I don't, but I probably should. I only really need these for reading. I don't have to wear them for driving anymore. I just sometimes when I'm watching TV, I wear them, even though I don't need to.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I should have had a. I didn't think about that myself.
I normally wear mine all the time, but I can't
I
see
did
things
too.
close to me with my glasses on. So when I'm working on the computer, I take them off. But if I'm, normal time when I'm not working at the computer, I have them on. I take them off to read because I'm nearsighted. So and I never thought about it until just now. I saw both of you were wearing
Yeah.
glasses. I went, do you
Yeah.
guys take extra glasses with you?
Yeah, I always take an
Well,
extra pair of glasses just because I have to have my glasses to see. Yeah.
I have my older ones, but I have to buy
The bifocals or
bifocals now.
I do have a hard case because for a while I was using the soft cases for my glasses, but I do have a hard case. So I would think that would protect your extra pair of glasses when you are traveling.
Yes.
yeah, that might be a little better. And I always try to use like some bright, have things like depending on the color of the inside of your backpack. I know with a lot of the camera bags and stuff, everything's black. It's like try to
Mhm.
find something colorful so you can actually find what's in there because other times I always carry a little flashlight when I travel. I've started getting some of the little flashlights to put even on the zippers of my coat. Those, again, you can find those at trade show, or if they give, a lot of times they have like different expos in your town, whatever it might be. Maybe it's not something you're super interested in, but if it's free, just go and you can pick up luggage tags. You might get some free the little flashlights. Look for things that are freebies like that you can double for other things when you travel.
And stress balls.
Yes, stress balls. There you go.
This one's an actual stress ball because it's a football, I think. Yeah, football. I have to look at it.
Yeah.
I have school bus ones I've gotten. They're shaped like a school bus. Especially if you're a nervous flyer, if you're flying, or um, don't do well on long bus rides, pack a little stress ball. They don't take up much room, and you can pack your stuff on top of them and squish them because that's what they're for. Actually, I would probably just take it on the plane with me if I were a nervous flyer. Put it in your bag, your purse, and make sure you have something like that. Um, there's so many different things you need to think about
I know. I
And
know.
when I go camping, or on any trips, I have a list, and then I just check it off each time, and it's pretty much the same list. I have it in my computer, and I just print it out and I go check, 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 and start in advance, way in advance. Don't wait till the last minute, because you're always going to be putting more things on that checklist to make sure that you have everything that you need when you go on whatever your trip is, whether it's camping or hiking or um, a cruise or whatever, because each of these different types of things, and even the different types of tours that you and I do, it's going to be a slightly different packing trip.
Yeah.
Make yourself some lists, and make sure that you just go down the list and check it all off. And like I have one of those old, uh, back in the day when they had the little fold out things with the zipper pockets, and you're supposed to hang them on the doors.
Oh yeah. Gosh, there's a name for those.
I have a couple of them. I never used them. I mean, they're in the bottom of my bag. They stay flat. They don't get folded up and hung up. I don't know.
I never
But
used those. I guess some people might, but yeah, I've never.
they come in handy for camping, but make sure that you have that filled up if you have it. Make sure, um, I have a comb and a brush for home, and then I have a comb and a brush that's always in my overnight bag. They just live there. Toothpaste, extra toothbrushes in case you forgot your electric toothbrush, which I've done before. Um,
Yes.
in in most places, hotels and things will give you all those kinds of things. So I just stuff them in there, and so I always have extras. And that way, if you travel a lot, like I think April does, um, you may have some extras, so that this is kind of off topic, but you have extras. You can put them into packages in case of an emergency to donate. And I've done
Right.
that.
Right.
I've stockpiled so many at these events we get, these community events. I get a lot of stuff, and I have put them into little bags and donated the full bag, so people have the toothbrushes and the toothpaste and the lotions and things that they need. But
Yeah.
that's I stockpile those because it's kind of fun to have them from the different places.
No, it is kind of fun, but yeah, just in and think ahead. Like I always have I like to it's amazing how long a little sample of something actually lasts. I mean, you don't need a full size, maybe even makeup. Get a small, get the sample size if you can get it, or you know, sometimes friends or they cleaning out things or go to the dollar store. It's amazing what I know it's like a dollar. I don't know, it's a
Oh,
dollar
25
five, a
now.
dollar 25 now, but go in there, go down the aisle and just get small of everything that you use. And I always keep like an extra set kind of packed, ready to go for that last minute trip because it takes up so much less space. If you take a full size toothpaste, now you're just taking up all that extra space.
Right. And there was one last thing I was thinking, and I got distracted, was and you probably want this in your carry-on that you take with you, your purse or something. Take a little first aid kit.
Yes.
Just a little first aid kit, a couple of band-aids, some ointment, whatever. There's pre-packed ones everywhere. And sometimes you can even get those for free. I got one. We have a lot of community events in Oregon, a lot
That's
of,
good.
and I love to go to them because they're fun. But yeah, so I've actually gotten a couple of those little kits, and that is a really important thing you want to make sure you have with you, and make sure it's in that little backpack when you go on your tours, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, it may just be a paper cut, but ouch, those really hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And just having that extra Band-Aid or,
Yeah.
if you take Tylenol, Advil, whatever kind of aspirin you might take, need to take, or, if you have some vitamin C packs for yourself, the snacks I think are huge. Heather, any last tips that you might have to share for packing and travel? We kind of did packing today, so that's kind of good. You're muted. Oops, sorry.
I was coughing, that's why.
That's okay.
Um, um, I probably overpacked for Alaska, but I think it's better to overpack a little bit
Mhm.
than not to have enough, and um, I do roll stuff up, just like your advice to do that. And for pants and sweaters, a little hard to do that. I laid those flat.
Oh, kind of do
And,
a
Yeah.
mix of the two.
yeah. And my mother's luggage, my parents' luggage that I'm using now, has zippers that they have little pockets around the inside
Oh,
of
wow.
the, and so I can put socks, underwear, you know, stuff like that in there. Then I have less stuff to put in the rest of the luggage, the rest of the space.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
I
that's
remember
smart.
those kinds of suitcases.
Yeah,
But
I know. Those are those nicer, yeah, some suitcases that have those
it's
lifetime
the creek
warranties.
ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think you had Eagle Creek, which is really nice.
Yeah. And you can't always fit all the socks in those areas, but I had them pretty much filled when and so some of them, and you have to put in a thing for dirty clothes too. And
Right.
so you gotta have space for stuff like that. But that's another some suggestions that I had. I
No,
thought.
those are all great suggestions. Thank you, Heather. Thanks for joining.
Well,
Darcy, so tell everyone where they can find you for your day trips. They're coming up to Oregon.
All right. Well, you can come up to Oregon, do a day trip or combine day trips to make multi-day tours or some of my multi-day tours. You can find me at getoutoftowntours@yahoo.com or search for Get Out of Town Tours on Facebook.
Love it. Thank you so much. And this is April. I've got the Travel Collective, Your Photo Travel Guide, and a couple other websites, but we'll do another one of these. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode on packing. There's always so many tips to share, so we hope you'll drop them in the comments when I put this live onto YouTube. And thank you both of you for joining again. I love to talk travel, and we'll see you all again. Thanks,
Thanks.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
yeah.
Bye. We're still